Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the 37th DEM I Wonder webinar. DEM has so many services, offerings, programs, and hidden gems that we want to share with all of you. So we are excited to take just a few minutes to highlight these features in our webinars. The Utah Division of Emergency Management is hosting this webinar series aimed at providing local emergency managers with relevant content and opportunities to enhance their capabilities and knowledge. Webinars are live for Q&A and recorded for later viewing on the DEM website and YouTube channel. Some of these webinars are seminars or workshops with hands-on portions, which allow emergency managers to become oriented to a DEM process or test a DEM product. Our schedule today will be as follows. We will start with our ground rules and etiquette. Next, we will have a brief presentation by Wade Mathews on I Wonder What's Shakin. Following the presentation, the presenter will be available for a Q&A session. Following the Q&A, we will close with a short message about upcoming webinars. So today, the ground rules are fairly simple. Please mute your line while the presenter is presenting. If you have a question, you may type it in the group chat or unmute at the appropriate time to ask your question. This session is being recorded and will be available on our website for future viewing. Thank you all for your attendance today. And with that, I'm going to turn the time over to you, Wade.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate the opportunity to present and talk about the Great Utah Shakeout. What's shaking? Thanks for that title idea too, Jeff. Yeah, hopefully everybody had fun and were able to participate. I believe everyone here was able to participate in the Great Utah Shakeout this year. Just a little bit of background information. This was the 11th Great Utah Shakeout that we've conducted in Utah. The first was in 2012. So this was the 10th anniversary, but the 11th Great Utah Shakeout that we have conducted here, a milestone. And it has grown over the years. And of course, y'all realize that we had a goal of reaching 1 million people participating, a million people in Utah participating in the Great Utah Shakeout. We were close, right around 900,000 people. Didn't quite get there yet this year, but again, we're just following the pandemic. We did see an increase from last year, which was between 750 to 825,000 people last year. So we did see some growth. Still not quite at our goal, which was our record, our goal of 1 million. Our record was 1.2 million, 2018, I believe it was, the year or two before the pandemic. And a large part of our numbers for the shakeout come from schools. Of course, schools, they take that safety seriously. They are required to conduct drills. And earthquake drills are very important. We all know we live in earthquake country. We want our children to be safe, and we really encourage schools and school districts to participate in the Great Utah Shakeout. So that's where a lot of our numbers come from. Not every school participates, however. So that might be something. If you've got children or grandchildren that in the coming year, we will continue to plan and conduct the Great Utah Shakeout. Find out if your school or your children's or grandchildren's schools are participating in the Great Utah Shakeout. Towards the last week leading up to the shakeout, we tried to make a lot of phone calls. Maybe that's something that we should have done in reaching out to DEM staff to see if there was anybody that had some time and interest in making phone calls to previous registrants. Basically, there's a list that we use are people and businesses, organizations that registered in previous years to participate that have not registered yet. For the current year, we have a script that we can use to invite people to register for a shakeout. And if we become a coordinator for shakeout, we actually can log in and register that agency or organization for them. We can log in right into their account for them while they're on the phone and just go through the form and help them register for shakeout. Ask them the questions, how many people, make sure the contact information is updated with the person in charge and their email and phone number. Throughout the year, maybe more like the few months leading up to the expo, I should say, we start sending out email reminders to all of our participants from previous shakeouts. They get 3, 4, or 5 or so email reminders every so often leading up to the shakeout. We are also able to use that email list for promoting other things from DEM. We sent out information about the Be Ready Utah Expo to the Shakeout email groups. We include information about the Utah Quake text group, obvious audience for that, where they've participated in the Shakeout and they have an interest in earthquake preparedness. They may be interested in signing up for our Utah Quake text group. So that goes out in an email, some of the emails that go out. So that is those are some of our efforts in outreach and increasing awareness and participation. And I also wanted to thank the Be Ready Utah section, who were able to find some posters. The Great Utah Shakeout posters. We actually had some in the warehouse that still had the same date. So they were from a previous year that we were able to post up around some of our state facilities and in some of our community locations. So I appreciate Be Ready Utah section in doing that for Shakeout as well. Are there any questions about that so far? Okay, that's fine. So let me talk a little bit more about the you know that we have set aside the third Thursday of every April. That was done by Governor Herbert previously. So we always know when it's going to happen. We could look that up. That's something that we need to update on our websites for the future year. One thing to keep in mind, however, though, is you don't have to participate just on that third Thursday. You can participate any other day of the year, either yourself individually, as a family, as a school or district that I mentioned, businesses, communities, other government agencies and organizations. You register those people, and on the form, it asks you if you're going to participate on the Thursday or if you are going to participate on another day. That is certainly allowed, and it still counts towards our total overall participation. So that's something to consider as well. And why do we do the Great Utah Shakeout? It's the largest earthquake drill in the state. It is where we help people to learn and practice and teach other people the life-saving protective action for earthquakes, which is drop, cover, and hold on. That little phrase right there is what we want to say. I still hear people using stop, drop, and hold on, things like that. Drop, cover, and hold. Drop and cover was an older phrase we used to use, but still, drop, cover, and hold on is the proven and adopted protective action for earthquake. And I want to thank everybody for participating in our drill for DEM in the ECC on Thursday and participating, taking it seriously. It was some people had some fun with it, and that's okay. It's can kind of feel a little bit silly to drop down on the floor and get underneath a desk, a table, a chair, and hold on to the legs until the imaginary shaking stops. But it's important that we do take that seriously because it could save lives. So what it comes down to is drop, cover, and hold on will save lives in an earthquake. It provides that cover over our heads. The biggest cause of injury and death in an earthquake is from falling objects, things coming off of shelves, things falling off the ceiling like ceiling lights, tiles, projectors in an office building, things like that. Glass could be glass flying, from broken glass that's popping out from the windows, etc. That cover is what protects us and keeps us safe. Drop, cover, and hold on, means that if you don't have a desk, table, or chair to get underneath of, you just kneel down on the floor up against a wall, an interior wall, I think we say. Whatever wall is closest to you, really, because you're not going to be able to move around a lot when the shaking is stopping. But a wall that does not have any glass overhead, no picture frames, no mirrors, no windows, no TV screens, anything like that would be overhead on the wall. You don't want to kneel down underneath of those. Try to get up under some wall that's just plain wall. Kneel down and cover your head and neck with your arms and hands. And if you're inside, stay inside. And if you're outside, stay outside. Don't run into or out of a building when bricks and chimney and glass are falling from the building. If you're in bed, stay in bed and just pull a pillow over your head. If you're driving, try to pull over as soon as you can, but try not to stop on a bridge or under an overpass or under trees or power lines. Excuse me. So we are looking forward to next year, which will be the 12th occurrence of the Be Ready of the Great Utah Shakeout. And we look forward to promoting that again, reaching out to our previous participants through emails, through phone calls. And again, as I mentioned, if anybody is interested in helping us with that next year, it's really simple to do, kind of fun to do, and it's definitely beneficial as far as promoting the Great Utah Shakeout and increasing our numbers and helping us reach our goal of 1 million people. So if there aren't any questions, maybe I kind of ask you a little bit. So how many of you, I think everybody here participated in the shakeout in our all hands meeting, but did anybody else have any other experience with shakeout this year with your families or an organization or something like that that you'd like to share with us?
You're more welcome to type it in the chat as well, and then I'll watch that and read it to you, Wade.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Does anybody have any questions about planning and conducting and promoting the Great Utah Shakeout? Maybe just in another couple minutes that we have left here, I was going to share my screen and pull up the Shakeout website. Again, a reminder for you, it's shakeout.org/Utah. There are so many great resources here. This is not where I found the audio that I used in our drill and the ECC on Thursday, but there is audio here. If you look over here on the right side, you can see Shakeout resources. You click on that, and there's all kinds of resources there to help you promote Shakeout and to help you conduct Shakeout. We've got manuals and other planning documents to help you plan and conduct the drop, cover, and hold on drill. You have multimedia videos that you can play. I think there are some PowerPoints on here as well. Information about making a grab and go kit. There are flyers that you can use to post around the office, around your community clubs and other businesses and things like that. You can email these out, post them on websites. There are web banners that you can put, as I mentioned, on websites. And a resolution, if you wanted to pass a resolution for your organization, it's more for like cities and counties and things like that. And then if I go back one space, one click here. Yeah, I guess we have to go back to the home page and then click on the audio and video. So there's audio and video that you can get to here in English and Spanish, has some with narration and sound effects, or just narration only, or just sound effects only. You can use these. And I saw a news story the other day in one of the school districts on Channel 5. In fact, they went to, I can't remember the name of the elementary school, but they were using the sound effects, the narration in their drill when people were drop covering, their students were drop covering and holding on underneath their desks. So we got some good feedback from some of those schools, from the deaf and the blind, and we tried to post on social media and recognize them and thank them for their participation and for sharing those things with us. So there are a lot of resources here on the website. Going back to the homepage one more time, you can see, well, we were over 870,000, so it's very close to 900,000. You can click on your region and see who participated by county. You can see who participated and how many people participated by county and by organization. K through 12 schools and school districts in Tooele County, they participated. Bonneville and Excelsior and Scholar Academies participated. And if you just are curious about who participated, you can look that up there. Um,
So
you can print
James,
off a certificate. Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Hey, so James put in there in the chat, James Ray, that there's some amazing tools in there that help with the organizations and some great resources for EMs. And then Judy asked, were there any state building evacuations or school evacuations?
Judy, that's a really good question. And I don't unfortunately know the answers to those. We could go back and look it up. So we can look up anybody that participated and check out their account, and it describes what their plan was for participating. We don't do that normally when we have close to 900,000 or over a million people. But I think that's something we could have done a little bit better this year, was coordinating the participation, even just in the Taylorsville State Office building. I was a little bit surprised, as maybe some of the rest of you were, that morning as we evacuated following our drop, cover, and hold on drill, to see that we were almost the only ones that participated from the Taylorsville State Office building. I expected more people to be evacuating with the red backpack. So we probably need to coordinate that and maybe do in the past. We've asked the DFCM up on Capitol Hill to actually set the fire alarm off, and that would um, let people know that it was shakeout time, and then they would follow that up with an evacuation and going out to our staging areas. So that's a good question, something that we really need to follow up through for future shakeouts. And as far as University of Utah, I can tell you, I called them myself because they had not registered, and they are a large organization, 55 something thousand people that would participate through U of U. They did not register this year. They did not conduct the drop, cover, and hold on drill on Shakeout Day this year. Apparently, they had been receiving some complaints that it interrupted the finals in the last week of school, people writing papers and trying to take tests. So they opted not to. They are conducting an exercise, a smaller scale, in the summer months, summer semester. They did put on shakeout on the registration as far as their participation. Well, I also wanted to thank the people from Be Ready Utah that did help call some of these schools and other organizations and helped us register more people. I think through our phone calling alone, we probably saw another increase of 100,000 people participating in the shakeout through our phone calling, just within the Division of Emergency Management and Be Ready Utah section. So that was a big help. Lori, thank you for your neighborhood conducted a mini drill. We appreciate that. And your wife's employers did as well. So yes, tell them thank you for doing that, and we hope that they will continue to do that in future years. Max, different strategies and training exercises that are taught in schools during this shakeout. I'm not aware of any. Really, we drop, cover, and hold on. Get underneath that desk. Hold on till the shaking stops. I think that's the basic proven and adopted strategy being taught in schools for earthquake safety and preparedness. Drop, cover, and hold on. And in school, that means get underneath your desk and hold on to the legs until the shaking stops. And schools typically do follow that up with an evacuation drill as well. Okay, that is all I had prepared. I don't know if anybody else has any other questions or comments, suggestions for next year. If you want to sign up to help us make phone calls, you can reach out to me on those things. The shakeout, actually, it's a joint effort through the Public Information Officer Office and Be Ready Utah. It's part of our outreach that we conduct for DEM through the Be Ready Utah outreach program. But initially, I think it started as an initiative through the Public Information Officer. I think Joe Doherty was the first one in 2012 to get that kicked off, or to help that get kicked off in the state with DEM and the governor, et cetera, et cetera. So, but it's a joint effort with PIO and Be Ready Utah and anyone else that wants to help us in that effort. So any other questions or comments? Thank you, Judy. Yes, we appreciate everybody's work again because yeah, we saw through those efforts those numbers jumping uh, jumping a lot through the last couple of weeks and getting people registered and participating in the shakeout.
Hey, with that, Wade, when we put this on YouTube, we will add that link as well to the Great Shakeout so we can get that information out to.
Thank you very much. Yeah, again, shakeout.org/Utah. And there's a link to that from the new beready.utah.gov website, which is receiving a lot of great recognition and praise from one of our media partners, KSL. So, yeah.
Sorry, I was reading. Lori asked or typed in the chat suggestion for future: coordinate this event with local fire departments, fire prevention programs, along with school programs.
Good suggestion, Laura. Yeah, that's something we could do is definitely reach out to our larger fire departments in the metropolitan area and have them get on board. And a lot of people do think about this on their own too. And I heard a lot of people, a lot of organizations that were just excited about Shakeout and they promote it on their own without any prompting. We had probably 700,000 people registered, maybe through some email reminders. As I mentioned earlier, those email reminders go out to everybody that participated in the past. So that could have contributed to those earlier numbers. But a lot of people just remember Shakeout. The media remember Shakeout. We had some good media coverage on that day. We did some live shots on KSL morning show, a couple of live shots where we talked about Shakeout and did some demonstrations there. We had a pre-taped interview on Fox 13 that morning, and then we did a pre-taped interview, John Crofts, for Fox 13's 11 o'clock midday newscast. They covered it, so there was some good media coverage on Shakeout as well. They are good partners as well. But yes, reaching out to some of our other community stakeholders, fire departments is a good suggestion. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions or comments? Perfect. So, hey, Wade, I appreciate you getting on and short notice and making this happen. I'd like to thank you for that. And as a reminder, this webinar and all of our other webinars in this series will be available on the DEM website at dem.utah.gov/exercises and are now on dem.utah.gov/iwonder. Our next webinar will be held in May. If any of you have any I Wonder topic suggestions, please reach out to me at jeffrankham@utah.gov to have your topic added to our calendar. We're always excited to help you explore and get to know all that DEM can offer the emergency management community. So until then, next time, keep wondering.